I'm reviewing a Protrek which I think is the best value for money. By the end of this video, you'll also think the same. If you go to the Casio website and check for a Protrek, what you see is watches which have ana-digi complication, multi-band 6, Bluetooth connectivity. But a Protrek is not what it is today, and I feel this one is the most similar and resembling the essence of a Protrek. Let's start with the specifications of this watch. The PRG-340SC has tough solar, 100 meters of water resistance, a case and bezel made up of bio-based resin, a silicon band, -10 degrees centigrade temperature resistance, 3 sensors, length of 54.7mm, a width of 51.7mm, and a height of 15.1mm. I have mentioned the readings which I've got in the pop-in, so you can compare both of them. And there's much more to this watch, which we'll go through in each section of this video. There are a few things which actually make this watch really unique. First is the strap. If you see the strap, you can see some patterns in the strap. This was the first watch to introduce bio-based materials into the components of this watch. So what do you mean by that is, they use biological components to make their case and bezel, and for the strap, they use reused resin scraps and make the strap. So because of that, you can see these patterns, and these patterns are not same in all watches. It changes with each watch. I thought this watch was made for the American Army, but it wasn't the case. And second, I thought it was inspired from the American Army, as the uniform looks very similar. But both of them were just my imagination, and it didn't have anything to do with this watch. The design of this watch is just pure military vibe, and it is quite a tough watch as well. The first thing is the strap. The strap has this unique pattern on the front, and if you turn back, you have the silicone texture to it. So this is one of the smoothest and very comfortable straps I've worn so far. On the bezel, you have a few things which you need to take note of. First is the tough solar branding at the 12 o'clock position, a dedicated light switch at the 6 o'clock position. On the left, you have the adjust button, mode button, and the triple sensor. And on the right, you have the compass, barometer, and the altimeter functions. These switches are much more accessible compared to the adjust and mode, as they can be used with even gloves on, and they have a pattern to it which is more comfortable to your hand. It doesn't poke you. When you look into the bezel, you have a compass bezel in this watch, which is actually a bi-directional rotating bezel. If you know how to use a compass bezel, this is actually very useful. And you have the 0 to 360 reading under the bezel, where you can actually calculate the opposite direction or any direction you want. The screen is actually very reflective in a bezel, which has the Protrek logo and a -10 to +10 seconds counter, which I haven't used. If you have, please let me know. And a battery indicator on the bottom, which shows you the current level of the battery, which is more subtle. You have a full auto LED light, which I'll be talking about later, which is one of the best features of this watch. You have one more thing, which is a sunrise and sunset function in this watch. Under the Casio logo, you have a different colored sensor panel. Like in the home keeping mode, when you press the adjust button 1, it goes to the barometer function, and then it goes to the day date function and day month function. So this is a handy feature in almost all Protreks. As I told before, the first section was the day date, middle is the time, and the seconds the bottom, with toggle functions where if you have an alarm or snooze or signal, it notifies that as well. And the unique thing about Protreks are, if you go into any function in the watch, you can see the current time on the bottom half. So you won't get missed out in anything. So you can see that in almost all Protreks, and the battery level as well. And you have a temperature function as well with the barometer function, and the altimeter function, you can actually change the units from meter to feet, but I've kept it in meters. So this is the overall design of the watch, and I feel like it is really great. If you like the video so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to this channel. We do everything related to watches and watches only, so hitting the subscribe button would mean a lot. This is one of the best backlights I've seen in recent years. If you take higher end watches and some other G-Shocks as well, you have this double LED light, and this Protrek incorporates that perfectly. So you have a double powered LED, which is a white LED on the 9 o'clock position. So it fires the whole screen. Even in bright light, you can actually see it. It doesn't have an auto backlight, but still I feel like you can just press the button and see it. This watch is priced at 14,995, which is actually a very good price for this watch. I feel like it is worth the price. And if you're lucky, you can get this watch for nearly 11,000 rupees if it's under sale. Last time when the sale happened in Casio, which was still yesterday, this watch was not under sale, but the previous season, after I bought it in full price, this watch came for nearly 11,000 rupees, which was actually a really good price for this watch. You have two color options to choose from if you want the patterned resin design, which is this color and a blue color, and you can go for the standard 340 series where you get more color options, but it is not the same as this one. Before I answer that question, this watch is not for slim wrist people, as it has a diameter of 55mm, which is quite huge, and on my 6.5 inches wrist also it's quite big, so I wouldn't recommend it for skinny wrist people. Maybe the strap will be very comfortable, but the size is really big. There are a few Protreks which are quite smaller compared to this one. If you're a hardcore Protrek fan, you would actually appreciate this watch. Or if you're starting into a Protrek and if you don't want a G-Shock, if you have a budget of 15k, this watch is for you. So these were my honest thoughts on the PRG-340SC, and it's actually a very good watch. If you want to wait for a sale, which might happen probably in August, if this comes under sale, you can get it nearly at 11k, so that's a really good deal for this watch. And if you find it cheaper elsewhere, please do try it and don't get scammed by going into any e-commerce website, which I'll cover a video later about. If you have a friend who loves OG Protreks and wants a modern version of it, or any Protrek lover you have, share it to them. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. I'll see you next week with another exciting video. Until then, peace out.